So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, grab your coffee, and if you wanted to share one video, links for that down below. And yes, I have been sick a lot lately for about 3 weeks straight. Nah, we don't know what it was, but anyway, I came back to my house from a trip, and we had a lot of those flowers. They are huge. The ones that we got, they were huge. So we are going to be talking about EDC, which is a requested video, and at the same time it's the topic that started this channel. And so first of all, we are going to be saying that EDC is not just your bag, it's also other stuff that you don't think about. And in some countries it is a legal thing, and in some others it's not. It should be, by the way. And so we are going to start by talking about the best friends of your house, as in your extended family, meaning your pets. Your pets can also carry EDC, and the main EDC is the belt, the one that you can have for the dogs, the cats, or whatever it is. And so in some countries, the belt, it is required to be colored in a particular way to talk about other people, so that they can understand the temperament of your pet. Meaning, okay, so for I don't know the exact colors because they will depend upon the country that you're in. In a lot of places, the pet's belt is nothing. It's like it's an accessory. It's an EDC item for them, but it is not meant to say anything. But like I said, in other countries, if the belt is red, it means that you need to stay away from this pet because it has a temperament that is aggressive. Meaning, if you have a child that is running towards the pet because he's thinking, oh my God, so cute, and then, your pet goes and tries to eat the kid, yeah, so that is a very bad idea. But it happens a lot, and therefore the law has decided that it's better to have color, and that way, if you see somebody carrying the pet with the color red, then that means you should stay away. The black one means that the pet is moody, meaning, well, today the pet says, I hate kids, and the next day says, oh, I love kids, and the next day says, I'm indifferent, I don't care, I'm just lazy, I don't want to even get up. And so it's a moody pet. And then there is another color that says is friendly. And then there is another color that says is friendly towards humans, but it is not friendly towards other pets. And then there is another one that says this one is friendly to pets because he likes other animals, but he does not like humans. And so, so there are different temperaments and there are different colors. And therefore the EDC for these pets is like that. Then there is also the EDC for the pets, as in what do they carry. And in some instances, you can have that one. The pet can carry its own water and its own food, which is extremely good. And if your pet ever gets into trouble or whatever, they can be easily recognized or helped, because now it's not a strait because it's wearing something, and other humans can approach it and then they can feed it their own food because it's already on their backpack or whatever it is. And so that one is a good thing. Also, the EDC item, it's also an identification for your pet. In some instances, it can be a GPS tracker. In others, it can be just an identification with a phone number or the name of the pet or stuff like this. And so the EDC is not just for you, but for the pets. Then the EDC items is not just for carrying the items that you want personally, but others that are universal. And one for them that it is going to be universal is going to be other containers, as in subcontainers, as in, so for example, if you have a woman's backpack, you can have cosmetic bag, or you can have a toiletry bag, or you could have a wallet, and then you could also have a water container. You could also carry the lunch containers. You could also carry snack containers. There is one that it is very cute for only bananas. That one is amazing, because bananas are one of those things that people always carry, because it is one of the universal fruits, despite the fact that you can be in Canada, but you can still get bananas, right? And so the banana containers are amazing. It's one of those items that is really cool to have. And anyway, and so within these containers, there are universal containers that you really want to understand and get. So for example, the most basic one, the one that most people will carry them with them, is just a water container. And so you want to pick a proper water container and have it with ID, and that way nobody will mess it up and then drink from your cup, so to speak, because it has your name on it. And so this one could be one of those that you can bend into the same container, meaning you can just open it and then it will go up or down. And it could be one that you refill all the time. It could be one that you fold. It could be one that it is metal. It could be one that it is plastic, one that has a lot of accessories, as in you buy the water bottle, but the water bottle also has a side pocket so that you can put pills in it. That one is especially designed for elderly, or for people that have conditions like diabetic or something like this. And so when you have the water, you already have the pill in it, and it's a cool thing to have. And so there are hundreds of models out there for the water containers, and there are a lot of choices. If you don't have money, you can just get stuff that is very cheap in a lot of places, or sometimes a lot of companies will give out their brand into water bottles, because it is a publicity thing. And so it will depend upon what you're doing. The water container can also have its own container, meaning because it is water, then it can break, or it could be a problem if it drops the water inside your backpack, especially if you carry papers and stuff like this. Then you could also have containers that are specifically for the water container. And so then there are backpacks that will be specifically and only for the water container. And that one is one of my favorite ones, because that means that you can just grab that thing and run. And even if you lose your backpack, you will not lose your water, which is extremely important. Now, also understand something very, very, very important. And that is that if you carry your EDC all the time in your right shoulder, then you will certainly have problems of balance later on, especially after years and years of carrying that thing on only one side. And so when you are carrying your EDC, you want to try 1 week on the left shoulder, 1 week on the right shoulder, because if you don't change shoulders, then you will create problems, and then you will have a deformed body, because your body eventually will adapt to have balance. And remember, balance is extremely important when you are walking. And so if you are not walking with the EDC, then everybody will know that you are leaning towards the left or the right, depending upon which side you used to have for your EDC all the time. Therefore, the best thing to do will be to change weekly and have an EDC that is not extremely heavy. Also, it has been proven when you have EDCs that are heavy, like a backpack, and you use it in people who are less than 21 if you are a woman and 25 if you are a man, then you will become stronger, but you will be shorter. And so if you ever want to be taller, you're not meant to be carrying a lot of weight, because it will affect your spine and it will affect your muscle development. And there was a lot of studies that prove this thing. When you have people that are always carrying heavy things, they have a higher tendency to be shorter. And therefore, if you want to be taller, then your EDC either has to be extremely light, or don't carry an EDC in your backpack or anything. Rather, search for an EDC that has wheels, and you pull it like if it was a luggage. And so there is EDC, especially now for women, that you can use it as a backpack, and at the same time you can place it again into the same unit, so to speak, and now it can turn into a wheeled kind of wallet or kind of package kind of thing. Those are the best EDCs, because they will allow you to move all the time without carrying the weight. And that means that if you're young, that should be your priority, because otherwise, like I said, you will develop a lot of muscles, and that being said, it means that you will be stronger when you grow older. You will be stronger, but you will not be taller, and you may face other issues with your spine. And so it is a topic, carrying the EDC. Now, the EDC for the pets is the same thing. If you have something that is too heavy, it will affect the spine of your dog and your cat. And so it has to be something that your pet can handle, and therefore it is recommended that you talk to your veterinarian for the size and the weight of that thing, especially if it needs to be balanced. As in, if it's 100 grams in the left side, then it has to be about 100 grams on the right side, because otherwise it will have the same long-term effect that it will have you using only one side of your body. If you use your EDC only in one side, you will develop something called scoliosis. And so that is very, very, very important to avoid. And then you can check that one with a traumatologist or a chiropractor or both. And if you want to know whether you have a problem with your spine and how to correct it better, you can use the Alexander technique. And so, but that one is very, very, very expensive. However, it will help you out through the best means possible. And so it's the best thing if you have the money to do that. Now, if you are going to be talking about the EDC, you want to continue with the next best thing, which is scams. You want to watch at least 10 to 20 ways in which your purse or your handbag can be stolen in supermarkets, in your car, in the parking lots, and wherever place you go to. For example, if you frequent a gym, then in the gyms. If you frequently malls, then in the malls. And see how that one is done, especially if you are a woman, because the chances of your EDC, as in your backpack, being stolen if you are a woman is probably 8 out of 10 times that somebody steals anything. And so if you are a woman and you have kids, or if you're a woman and you're alone, then this is going to be a problem. Especially also if you go to the supermarket. The supermarket is the place in which most of the times people will steal the EDC from you, because people have a high tendency to leave their EDCs into their shopping carts. And that is why you need to understand how to use the shopping carts properly. As in, the shopping carts will have a hook that you can use so that your EDC is not within the reach of everybody but you. And so you can also buy hooks that you can set up in tables, and that way you can place any kind of EDC in front of you within the table, any kind of table, and that way you don't have to use shares or anything that might be inconvenient, or anything where people can just grab that thing and run, and you won't have the time to react. And then if you lose your EDC, it's going to be a bigger problem because of documentation. You see, if you can buy everything else, but you getting documentation again is beyond a nightmare. And so it's a problem. And the next thing is, I know that a lot of people have contactless credit cards, debit cards, or whatever cards. And when that happens, this is a problem. Last year it was said that 1 in every 8 people were victims of identity theft or some kind of scams, especially transactions online, bank accounts, data, and all of those things. And so it is a problem when you have your documentation within your wallet, and in this wallet you don't have the RPG or RFG thing. I don't know the name, because there are like 3 or 4 or 5 different technologies that you can use for protecting this data that is now being wired online every single time that you walk with that debit card or yours. So if somebody walks into a coffee shop and you are within reach of these people, as in they walk near you, they already stole money from your account and nobody knows. There has been people that can make $100 in literally 1 minute per coffee shop. And if there is a bunch of people doing this for a company, then you are basically asking for trouble. So you really want to have these kind of shields that are protective for online. I think that they are made out of aluminum with other stuff, but the aluminum trick will not work with this type of new technology. And so even if you were going to protect your wallet per se, you need to keep up updated, because the devices that read credit cards and debit cards are becoming smarter, and they are also becoming easier to get online. And basically anyone can go online, buy that device, and then go into a coffee shop, just walk around, and you already made $100 or $200. And if it is a packed place like a subway station or a metro station or bus station or train station or whatever you want to call it, then you can make even more, because you're just collecting $3-4 for each person, and people don't check that it was $3 or $4. And by the time you check and you want to call the bank, it's already too late, because you reporting this thing has to be done within a time period. And if you don't make the claim within that period, then the money will not be available to you back. And so basically you can be ruined forever with this thing. Technology is a nightmare, and it is a big headache for a lot of people. And so if you don't want to become a victim of your scams and stuff like this, then either get credit cards and debit cards that cannot work with contactless technology, as in old-fashioned type of cards, or you can buy these shields, these technology shields or whatever you want to call them. And then if you buy them, I think they cost about $40 each. And you want to get 2 per person for your family. And then several for giving them as a gift to other people. Like people that you visit on Christmas. Maybe your best friend. Maybe your best friend and their family and stuff like this. Reason being is that, well, a lot of people do not know that this is happening, but I think that the statistic is now 1 in every 5 people. So if you have the chances of 1 in 5 of being scammed because of this, then it's an extremely high chance, okay? It's a lottery. And so, and I think it will become even worse, because as soon as people realize that, you know, the economy is doing horrible and you can do this to get money, then a lot of people will fall for this trap of stealing and scamming other people, thinking that it's just $3 or $4 per person, and nobody will care about somebody stealing $3 or $4 from you. And the problem is not that you are stealing $3 or $4 for each person that you meet, but rather than everybody else will be doing it soon enough. And when that happens, everyone is going to jail, and then there will be a lot of other consequences. And you have no idea how bad this one can be. If you make everyone afraid of going out because you're thinking that if you're walking down the street, somebody's going to take all your money and all of the money from your bank account, and then you will have to face lawyers, and then you will have to spend hours on end on police investigations and all kinds of things, and then you will lose faith in humanity, and then there will be even bigger problems. And so that EDC issue is one of those topics that can lead to an actually meltdown on the entire freaking economy. Because when people start panicking, thinking that this is going to be an issue, then yeah, it can break. It can literally make every single country bankrupt within days, if not hours. And so it's insane, okay? Because if there are a couple of influencers that go through this problem, and then there are more influencers saying the same thing, then everybody will panic, and then the economy will be even like a lot of other economies that when the lockdown happened, when nobody went out, and if nobody goes out, then all the physical stores will shut down, and that means that the scams will continue, but now they will become smarter and worse. And so you have no idea how horrible this one is, just because now within your EDC you must have this item. How much is this item? Like I said, it was supposed to be around $40. So if you have a family of 4 or 5, let's say 5, now you have to spend $200 on these things, and you have to check every 3 or 4 or every 3 or 4 months. You will check to see if the device is still working, because the technology for making things contactless is evolving, and therefore whatever you have might be obsolete. And if you take it into account that now you have to change this thing once, at least twice a year, that is $400 per year. I don't know about you, but you know, it is better to just tell the bank, screw contactless technology. Screw it, because if it's going to cost you $400 per year or more, or if it's going to risk you having all of your money stolen minute by minute every single time that you go out, and you being paranoid and all of that, then is it worth it? So if it is worth it for you, then that's fine. But for a lot of people, I know that they're going to say, screw that. Let's go back to basics. I put up the debit card and I press the PIN. I don't care. Because me pressing the PIN, of course, means that I can be certain that no one is stealing from me. And so that one is way better. Of course, you will still have to worry about whether somebody is watching you and all of these things, but that one is common sense, and it was done even before the contactless technology was able to apply. And so, like I said, your EDC must contain security items. Also, keep in mind that within your EDC, there is a lot of people that are now placing devices that can track you without you knowing. And this one has been an issue, because you go home and you don't realize that somebody placed something within your wallet or within your backpack or within your car, and now they are tracking you, and they can know your real-time location any minute by using this new technology. Especially if you are a woman and you are alone, this technology is a problem. And so now within your EDC, you also must carry something that will alert you of near devices, especially one that can scan your EDC and your car every single time that you go home, before you get home. Because if you now are at home and you realize that somebody's tracking you, it's already too late, because they already know where you are. And so now in your daily activities must be the idea that you have to carry this thing and check every single time that you get into your car, and every single time that you move your EDC, your backpack, everywhere. And because somebody can just drop that thing, which is small, and then they will know exactly everything that there is to know about you, because there are people that can do that through your EDC, and it is extremely scary. And the reason being, well, these companies are developing these things without thinking the consequences for women. And so yeah, sometimes we still get the short end of the deal. Sometimes men get the short end of the deal, and sometimes it's women. So all you can do is try to keep up with your EDC and be aware of your EDC on a daily freaking basis, several times. Now, this is an issue. Anyway, also, when it comes to clothing and your EDC, you need to consider the colors and the designs of your EDC for what you are doing it. Meaning, okay, so in your EDC, you have swimming wear because you go to a swimming club, or because you are going with your kids to the swimming pool or to the beach and stuff like this. And I am going to tell you right now, you are not going to like it, and I am sorry about that, but throw away all the swimming wear that it is blue or green or yellowish, and if it is sandy or your skin color is worse, really is just worse. Don't get those colors. Reason being, okay, so you're in the beach and something goes wrong, and now the lifesavers are trying to find your kids. So what happens when you have blue, as in their swimming wear is blue and the water is blue, right? So the chances of people seeing you on the water become smaller. And if it is green, the same thing will happen. If it is sandy colors or stuff like this, worse, because the colors on the ground, as in under the water, are going to mess up your things, and then you won't be able to find the kid or the victim soon. You will eventually find them sometimes, but you want to increase your chances. That being said, this means that the colors that your kids swimming wear are going to wear have to be red, orange, and bright purple and bright fuchsia colors. Black, black is also going to be a thing, because try to look on the water. If you try to look on the water, those colors that I just mentioned, you won't be able to tell them apart. If you are a woman, you will be able to tell them apart better than men, but still, that is not enough. That is not good enough, and it is not worth the risk. And so if you are teaching your kids how to swim and the uniform is blue, talk to the people in charge and say, hell no, make it red, make it orange, make it purple, make it, I don't know. But honest to God, change the freaking color. Because if they are learning, and especially if it is a boy or a man, reason being, well, if something goes wrong and your kid is underwater, I'm going to tell you right now, if it is a girl, chances are that girl is going to float. And chances are that girl is actually going to go with the head up immediately, because your body as a woman will go into sync with the water and it will pull you up, more likely. But if it is a man, then the probability of you going face down goes higher. And the probability of you sinking as a man or as a boy is higher. Reason being, well, you are a boy and you're a man. That the gravity center in us is different. Our gravity center works against you as a man when you're swimming. If you are a woman, it works with you. It doesn't work for you, it works with you, which means that it will help you out in case of a problem. But that doesn't mean that you are far from problems. It just means that you are different. And therefore, people need to find you. How exactly are you going to find people when they have the same color or the same shades as the water? It's like you using camouflage. How the hell are you going to find camouflage kids in the middle of a problem? See what I mean? And so the EDC color for your clothing matters more than you can think of. And if you are depressed or you are going to a funeral or stuff like this, understand that if you wear black, the probability of you becoming even more depressed and the probability of you attracting horrible things when you wear black, they increase like insanity level. Why? Because dark colors are colors that will attract energy. And if you are sad and you are having troubles with depression or troubles with the funeral or whatever it is, or griefs and stuff like that, and then you are trying to attract energy, what do you think you are going to attract? So, no, if you are depressed or you're going to a funeral and things like this, you want to wear actually white, pure white as possible, or as yellow as possible. And you want to use it even in your underwear. Why? Because everything that is white will repel all those energies. So if you're feeling sad, you will actually repel anything that it is sad, and you will actually attract the opposite. If you attract the opposite, that means that whatever process you are going through, you will go through faster and you will go through better. And so our understanding of colors when it comes to choosing clothing and choosing EDCs and choosing things is not is not the right settings. It's like it's like, I don't know how to put it, but we do the complete opposite. It's insane how we do the complete opposite of what we are supposed to be doing, including choosing colors. Next, for your EDC clothing, you want to really understand and pick colors that are according to the activity that you are doing. For this, you can do more research or you can find out in other videos. Also, your clothing for your EDC should not have anything made out of plastic. If you wear plastic, make it because you don't have a choice. So for example, if it is raining, you might need raining boots or you might need a rainy coat. Those are plastics. But other than that, or unless it is winter and you want to wear something plastic, that's fine. However, if you are traveling on an airplane, if you are doing anything else, including but not limited to going to the gym and other stuff, you really want to wear natural fabrics. The reason being is that plastics will mess up your hormones. And so if on a daily basis you are messing up your hormones and you are wearing something that will make you toxic syndrome later on because of how long and how much exposure to these plastics you have, especially when you are a kid, what do you think is going to happen? So your EDC for the clothing cannot include plastic clothing of any type unless you don't have a choice or unless the risk of you being toxic, as in you having toxins inside your body, is worth it. And so anyway, as you can tell, it is very dark because it is about to rain. And so I gotta go because it is very dark. It's about to rain. And very horrible idea, me being sick and being on the rain. So anyway, thank you for staying tuned. I will talk to you soon about these topics and more. Thank you. See you soon.